Trade talks are escalating around the San Jose Sharks, and Mike Grier has a tough decision to make going into trade deadline with moving out veteran pieces that seems like a trade is imminent. We're going to break all this down and more later on this episode. Before I get into that, I just want to give a huge shout out to everyone watching this video. If you're part of the 82.8% that's not subscribed yet and you're enjoying this content, it's completely free. You can go down and keep up to date on everything to do with the San Jose Sharks. There's not enough coverage, and that's what we're here for. But with that, let's hop straight into the first topic today, which is Nico Sturm speaks out, and it does seem like a trade is imminent for him heading into the March 7th deadline. Now, looking at Sturm, we did get a quote from him, and he said, "Probably now we're about halfway done through this year. I'm certain the front office has some sort of better picture now and how they want to move forward in the next few years to come." Now, looking at Nico Sturm, he did join this team just 3 years ago after playing with the Colorado Avalanche, but we already did see Sturm speak out in December about the trade rumors. He said, realistically, as long as nothing's done, I might probably expect to get moved. This was on his contract. Sturm told the Mercury News in late December. If there's no contract extension, that's just the reality of life in the NHL. Now, Sturm has had a great career with the San Jose Sharks, playing in 3 seasons with this team and 3 productive seasons at that. But there is key parts on why it seems like a trade is going to happen. Looking at Sturm, as I said, he won a cup with the Colorado Avalanche in 21-22 before coming to the San Jose Sharks. In his first season with the Sharks in 74 games, 14 goals, 12 assists for 26 points. He followed it up the following year with 5 goals, 8 assists for 13 points. And then he went into this year in 40 games, 5 goals, 5 assists for 10 points. Now, the biggest thing with Sturm, who is a UFA at the end of this deal, points aren't always going to show the picture with him. This is a player that's going to have a lot of value if a team is looking to add veteran leadership and a Stanley Cup winning player to their current roster. Looking at Sturm, the biggest thing with him that a lot of teams are going to be intrigued about is his faceoffs. When you're looking at Sturm, since joining the San Jose Sharks, 55.8% of faceoff wins in his first season with the Sharks. This bumped up to 60.1%, and this year, 63.3%, which is leading the entire San Jose Sharks in faceoff percentage, which is a big feat for a player that can go and win another cup with the team if Mike Grier wants to move on from him to add more prospects to this already amazing pool of them, which we will touch on later. Now, looking at Sturm, the big thing is his ice time has dipped a lot since joining the team. In his first year with the Sharks, 14 minutes and 44 seconds. The following season, 14 minutes and 40 seconds. Into this season where he's averaging 9 minutes and 49 seconds time on ice. Now, 10 points in 40 games is not great, but for a fourth liner, this adds a lot of value. Along with the faceoff percentage, along with his ice time dropping, it does seem like the picture is painted on Sturm's career and where he will be heading next, which will be another team if Mike Grier does move on from him. Now, looking at the current lineup, and there is a realm where maybe Sturm does not get moved. Looking at the center depth, though, Granlund, and he has been in rumors himself, Celebrini, Wenberg, and Sturm. Colin Graf can move into the center position if they do want to go that way and get a little younger, move him into a full-time center, maybe on the 4th line or 3rd line. But the biggest thing is, if Granlund's moved out, if Wenberg's moved out, I could see Mike Grier wanting to keep Sturm to stay at the center position, especially with how many faceoffs he's been winning for the team, adding leadership to a young team of Celebrini, Will Smith. You can work your way down. There's so much young talent on this team that you still need veterans around, which I still think the Sharks are doing an incredible job with. They're putting veterans in this lineup. This lineup doesn't even have Tyler Toffoli in it, but having these veterans are helping the young guys grow, mature, and get used to playing in the NHL. But looking at Sturm, it does seem like with his points, with how much he has value on the faceoff dot, how much he has dropped in ice time, this trade will end up happening at some point before March 7th on the deadline, and this is just going to help out the San Jose Sharks. Now, looking at the contract, $2 million, year 3 of 3 on his deal. He is a UFA at the end of this. So unless they sign him, he would be walked into free agency at the end of the year anyways. This is a low enough cap hit that a lot of teams can afford him, and it seems like a cap hit that people are going to pay a premium from, especially a team looking to bolster their bottom six with the leadership. We just seen him score a shorthanded goal that looked incredible. This is a guy that still has production that he can give to other teams, but adding more prospects to the pool of already top prospects in this league is something the Sharks should continue to look at. Looking at their current picks, they do have an extra second round pick going into 2026, but this is the team that still does need to add more draft capital. They can still add more prospects. They are the #1 ranked team when it comes to prospects coming into the season, and that's with headlined by Celebrini. This is a team that still has players like Sam Dickinson dominating the OHL. Askarov is looking like a future starting goaltender. Will Smith, Quinton Musty. There's so many names not even mentioned on this. If Mike Grier wants to go out, move on from veterans, still keep some around to build with this team, they have a young core that can come up, dominate in the NHL once they all hit their prime. We're seeing Celebrini already look like a future superstar in this league. He's going out every night, making teams ooh and ah him as he skates around, potting goals, potting assists, looking mature, and being one of the best two-way players at this age in the entire National Hockey League. We see a lot of talent in Connor Bedard coming in last season, but the poise and the defense coming from Celebrini is something we haven't seen from a rookie in a very long time. Adding more prospects to the back end or to the forward group is something Mike Grier is going to want to do and open up the window even more for the Sharks once they do hit their peak. This is a young team that's still competing every night, and the future is teal, and adding more players is going to be huge. But looking at the current scores for the team, as I said, Granlund does seem poised to be a player moved out at deadline. We've seen this name floated around quite a bit. He is leading the team, 12 goals, 25 assists for 37 points. He leads the entire team in points. When you work your way down, players like Mario Ferraro, Cody Ceci, Sturm, these players are going to end up being in rumors, and if Mike Grier can go out, get a better deal or a good enough deal, even better than he expected, anything above, he can work a trade out. We see Mackenzie Blackwood moved out. As much as Grier did not want to move him, he said, this was a deal we cannot turn down. This is the type of deal that I could see go for a guy like Granlund, maybe even Ceci, a team looking to add a right-handed shot to their blue line moving in. Teams are already linked to him. We did a video on that, so definitely go check that out as well. But looking at the picks, the prospects, and all the cap, they have a lot of players locked up. They do have some UFAs, and this is a lot of the players that are linked to the trade block. You can see guys like Sturm there, Granlund's there. You can work your way down, you can pause. They still have players on the back end as well that are linked. As I said, players like this, even a guy like Ruda could be moved out. Jake Wallman's been connected to this Vancouver Canucks. Cody Ceci, Mario Ferraro. Mike Grier is going to have the busiest trade deadline from any team around the NHL. But what's your guys' thoughts on this? What's your thoughts on Sturm being linked to a trade, and it does seem imminent after he said that his contract extension has not been talked about, and it does seem like he'll be moved on. What players would you like to see stay out of some of the names I listed that might be on the trade block or at least being looked at by other teams? Let me know down in the comments. While you're down there, leave a like, subscribe, share this with your friends. This is a brand new channel, and if you're a fan of the San Jose Sharks, make sure to go down and hit that subscribe button, and we'll keep you up to date on everything to do around the team. But I've been your host, Mark. Bye, and take care.